The final race of DTM 2025, the gladiators entering the arena. Ayhancan Güven, René Rast, Thomas Preining, who won the race on Saturday, and championship leader Lukas Auer amongst the 7 different drivers that could still win the championship going into this last race of the year. For the first time ever, an Aston Martin on pole position. Gilles Magnus in his first season on pole position. Ayhancan Güven, the highest placed of the championship contenders, starting on the front row of the grid as the lights went out and the race got underway. René Rast in the blue BMW, contact with the back of the Ferrari of Ben Green and the Porsche as he tried to get up into the top 3 early on. The Aston Martin hanging on to the lead of the race. Gilles Magnus ahead of Ayhancan Güven, but René Rast coming through into 3rd place, looking for his 4th championship title, 3rd in the standings coming into the race. Then he carried great speed going out through the Parabolica, nosed in front to go into 2nd place. Down under the braking into the Spitzkehrer though. Ayhancan Güven dived back down the inside. They both went wide, and then as Rast came back on contact with Ben Green, who had been hit from behind. There was also another incident further back which saw Timo Glock sent into a spin. René Rast with damage to the front right suspension, out of the race, out of the championship on the very first lap of the season finale. A replay showing that Güven dived down the inside, Rast got out of the way, but with contact from Güven, Green was hit into the side of Rast, and as Thierry Vermeulen, with nowhere to go, tried to squeeze past the BMW, it was the Ferrari that hit the front right wing of the BMW and caused the fatal damage. Rast out, and with him not set to come back in 2026, a sad way for the 3-time champion and 31-time DTM race winner to leave the scene. So it was then a battle in the middle phase of the race between several drivers coming up through the order. Marco Wittmann, Thomas Preining and Riccardo Feller all making good progress in that first pit stop phase. They were the leading 3 pit stoppers. Mirko Bortolotti had also had a good run coming in for an early pit stop. Preining having made good progress in the first portion of the race to get up into the top 6th. But Marco Wittmann had come steaming through from 17th on the grid. Riccardo Feller from 18th on the grid. The 2-time champion was out of the running for the title, but he wanted to win his first race of the season. Down the inside he went on the attack. His tyres up to temperature. Jack Aitken had come out on cold tyres after making his pit stop. And then Ayhancan Güven came in to make his first mandatory pit stop. Manthey, who'd already wrapped up the team's championship, doing an excellent job, getting him out in front. Maro Engel from 15th on the grid, coming into the mix as well though, up to a net 2nd place. But Wittmann, with his tyres up to temperature, was starting to carve his way through the order. And first he got past Jordan Pepper's Lamborghini, then he would go on the attack to try and get past the Aston Martin and the Mercedes, who both came past Maro Engel as he got his tyres up to temperature for the opening lap of his 2nd stint. Under braking into the Spitzkehrer, Lukas Auer having a go to get past Jordan Pepper for 4th place. Auer coming from 9th on the grid, making decent progress. But if Güven were to win the race or finish 2nd, potentially, he was about to lose the championship by just a few points. Güven then in the lead with a quarter of an hour to go. The Aston Martin of Gilles Magnus in 2nd, but real drama, a real shame for Magnus and the Company Racing team. A problem with the car, damage to the suspension, and the Aston Martin would be forced to retire from a potential first podium in the DTM. But great progress made by the team in their first season. Then, in the final 10 minutes of the race, Auer going side by side once again with Jordan Pepper and squeezing through this time. Both of these drivers trying to win their first championship title, running wide though, and then Pepper overtook Auer and Aitken went through as well, just at the scene of a yellow flag zone where the Aston Martin had come to grief. That would prove to be fatal for both Pepper and Aitken. They were deemed to have overtaken under yellow flags, and they were both be told to run through the penalty zone for 3 laps, which would cost them 15 seconds. But they argued the case on the radio and stayed out there. In the end, they would be disqualified from the race. It would put Lukas Auer up to 4th place effectively. And if Ayhancan Güven were to lose the lead of the race to Marco Wittmann and drop down to 2nd place, it would mean Güven would lose the championship by 1 single point to the Austrian, the 2022 championship runner-up. Last lap of the race, Marco Wittmann coming for Ayhancan Güven. The BMW all over the Porsche. Güven trying to hang on for dear life to the race lead, to the championship lead, to try and take his first title. But Marco Wittmann was taking no prisoners, and with just a few corners to go, the BMW squeezed up the inside on the way to the Mobile 1 curve for the final time and got the lead of the race. Güven down to second place, but he wasn't done yet. He went right, he went left, he dived down the inside, three wheels on the grass, the Porsche through at the Sachs curve with just three corners to go to get back into the lead of the race ahead of the BMW, and now he would be winning the championship by 4 points. One more corner to go. Ayhancan Güven making history by becoming the first ever Turkish driver to win the DTM Championship. What a drive!
You are DTM champion!
Amazing scenes, a fitting end to a spectacular season. And Ayhancan Güven, who came into the weekend 5th in the championship, ending up winning the race in dramatic fashion right at the death. A huge shame for Lukas Auer and Landgraf, just missing out on the title. They'd given it their all. But celebrations for Manthey, teams champions, a victory on Saturday for Thomas Preining, a race victory for Ayhancan Güven, and the championship title, plus the rookie championship for their other driver, Maurice Skuring. The perfect weekend at Hockenheim. An emotional Ayhancan Güven celebrating as he was awarded the 2025 DTM Championship trophy. 5 race wins, 1 championship title, and history made. The end of a truly remarkable season of the DTM.